Hey there, it's Rose. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here for hashtag Tea Tuesday. So Tea Tuesday is an open collab and it's hosted by Patty from Life with Patty and Kathy from Kathy's Favorite Things. And I'm so happy that I was able to jump in this week and spill the tea a little bit. So what am I drinking? I'm drinking this Tazo Wild Sweet Orange tea today, hot tea. I'm drinking it out of my Keurig mug, which is a beautiful red. Obviously, I can't show you because it's filled with tea. If you're not familiar with this tea, this is only my second time trying it. It's a beautiful orange flavor, and it from the moment you take this out of the little pouch, the aroma of oranges is just amazing. It's so fragrant. And it says on the package, thrill your taste buds with a juicy, tangy infusion of orange peel, lemongrass, citrus herbs, and licorice root. It is a caffeine-free tea. And it is quite yummy. It kind of gives you a little pep in your step, even though it's caffeine-free. And mine is still quite hot, so I'm going to just be sipping that as we have a little chat. And I thought today what I would share is that a little bit over a week ago, I attended Stampfest. And if you're not familiar with what Stampfest is, it's a seminar, kind of a shopping event, a little bit of everything, where stamp and craft companies from all over the country come. It's kind of like a convention, I guess is the right word for it. And they have their products, they do demonstrations, they do make and takes, and it draws quite a good crowd. It's really exciting because there's a lot of stampers and card makers that attend, and you get to see products that maybe you've only seen online. You get to see them, demoed, and you get a chance to buy. Of course, the shopping part is so much fun, and it's just an amazing event. It's once a year, and I try to attend every year. Well, the night before the actual convention event where, the vendors are selling, is a make and take event, and it's offered in a local hotel and in their convention room, and it's usually over 100 people attend this, and there's long tables set up, and you go in and you're given a goodie bag, which is what I'm showing here on my desk. This was jam-packed with treats, and they included a rubber stamp. There's a raffle. They gave us an ink pad, and, drink, and there's refreshments. It's so much fun. But the purpose of the make and take is actually just that. You make and take different crafts. At least 10 vendors on this particular night. There were 10 vendors that were set up, and you go in, sit at a table, you're given a wristband, and your table does the make and take, and then you alternate tables throughout the evening. So 10 tables, if you start at number 10, then you'll go to 1, and you'll rotate to each of the tables. You have about 10 to 15 minutes to make each of the particular crafts at that table, whether it be a card, or in this case, it was mostly cards, a treat bag topper, and a little tag folio, which I'll show you samples of that I made at the events. And then your table just rotates through. You rotate through with the same people. And like I said, it was about 100 people, so it was filled, and it's really exciting. The company representative demos the make and take, and then everybody takes out the supplies that are there on the table, and they just start creating. So much fun. This was my third time attending that event, and I love it. I'm going to go again next year because I just get to meet a lot of new people that are stampers or card makers, and trying out new products in a great way. So today I thought it would be fun to show you what I made at each of the make and take tables, so that you could, I could share that with you and you could get a sense of what it was like. Of course, I'm going to come back later and do a haul of what I purchased, some really fun new products that were new to me that I got to try out at the make and take. And then the next day at the convention event, I purchased a few of the things that I actually had sort of tried out. So let's get into it, and I'll show you what I made at the make and take. So this was the first little table where I made this adorable little 3D project. I'm going to kind of lay it this way. It stands like this, but you can't get a good angle there. So this is what it looks like from the front. And this booth was the Scrappy Tail Crafts booth, and they had this cardstock all pre-cut for us, and the die cuts already cut out, and we just assembled it in this little box shape. And then we put together the little grass and added the butterflies and flowers. And mine had the little dog, but each one had something different. Some had a cat, some had a bird, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is a little rain boot with the tulips and just adorable die cuts. So not usually one for making 3D projects, not yet. It's kind of on my wish list to get more into, but so it was very fun to assemble this in the make and take. And we do, you're encouraged to bring a little craft kit if you want to use your own supplies, but all the supplies and everything to make in the make and take is there for you on the table. So there's plenty for everyone. I should have said this earlier, but it's a 3-hour event, and it's just so much fun. Just really a good time. Everybody has a great time. Everybody leaves with their projects, and it's a chance to learn a new technique. I just had a great time. So this is one of the little projects that I made. And this is a card that I shared on my Instagram account. Now, this was from Marco Paper. You might be familiar with them. And what we were to do on this one is we were to take alcohol ink. In this case, we used Copics. We scribbled them on a glass. It wasn't a glass mat. It was actually a glass picture frame, which, again, if you don't have a glass mat, you can pick up a picture frame at the Dollar Tree. We just added the Copic marker to that, spritzed a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and then we smushed the acetate into the glass mat for that design in the back. And then, of course, we matted it, and they provided the little die cuts. Everyone had a different die cut. I think it's so pretty with the love. And then we mounted it on a regular A2 size card. So I thought this was really fun card to make. And it reminded me of a great technique that I don't utilize enough. And we created these little treat bag toppers. And this was from a company called Chalk Couture. Many of you may be familiar with Chalk Couture and its stencil designs. And they provided, of course, the cardstock, the stencil, the chalk paint, and then we created these little goodie bags. They even gave us the candy and the little bag to make the treat bags. So this is one of the ones that I created. And here's a look at the second card or bag topper. I still have the little cello bag to make this one up. And here's a little Easter card that I made at the Pink and Main table. And they had the die cut bases already there for us to just assemble this card. We stamped the Happy Easter, or there were several other choices of stamps that we could have used. Added the little bunny, of course, did some heat embossing with that really pretty, beautiful teal embossing powder. I love the way that turned out. And this is just a little mini slimline, blank on the inside, but just a fun little Easter card. Now, this was from a company called BoQ Creations, and their make and take was putting together this card. So they had all the die cuts ready for us to go, and we just assembled this beautiful little paint palette. And so they had all of these little intricate die cuts of the paint splatter cut out, and the tube, and the brush, and we assembled the little metal on the top and bottom of the paint tube and on the brush here. And then we could choose the saying that we wanted. And I thought this was such a fun card. I love the color. And I chose, of course, Live Your Life in Color because of all the beautiful paint colors, and just love that one. And this vendor was Crafts by Catherine, and they sold a lot of Gina K products. And this is a Gina K stencil, Gina K stamps, and just a really pretty black and white card. And then, of course, I added these little gems here, which I don't know if you can see them. They sort of look like diamonds. They're not flat. They're flat on one side and then pointed on the other. And glued those on with art glitter glue. And I just love the black and white and the gray, and how pretty just a light touch of that stencil is. And there was a table set up with the Stampin' Up vendor. And you know how beautiful Stampin' Up paper is. Just gorgeous and just so fun to put this card together. They cut out these strips, and we could design this any way we wanted. We could make the card open this way or horizontal, and I selected the vertical, and then you could stamp whatever sentiment you wanted. I chose You're So Totally Awesome. Beautiful Stampin' Up organza ribbon that I added. Just the Stampin' Up products, just, they never let you down, and they always look classic and timeless and just really pretty. So I loved this peach and yellow combo. Now this I created, and the company is Journals for Life, and what they were having available for their make and take is this little tag, sort of a pocket, and we could make our tags. We could select tags that were pre-made, and it has the different little slots that you can add your tags in, perfect for gift cards too. And then there's an opening in the top if you want to add something there, like, you know, maybe a little letter if you're sending it off to a friend, if you're adding it to a journal or a scrapbook page, just nice little tuck spots. And I thought this was a fun, very fun little pocket tag die. And so we assembled this during the make and take, and, you know, got to meet the inventor of this, the designer of this particular die. So that was very, very cool. And you know how I love tags if you've been following my channel. and I'm getting more into journaling. So this is a really nice little tuck spot that you can add into your journal or scrapbook page. Now, this was a new to me company, and they were called Local King. And I fell in love with their stamps. And what we did is we stamped the background, and then we took some dye-based ink and colored it up. And then they had pre-cut and stamped this octopus, and they had fussy cut it, or they had used a dye for it, and we colored him up. And look at how fun that stamp is. Look at all the detail in that water scene and how amazing that little octopus is. I just thought it was incredible. And I really fell in love with the stamping tool that we used, which are called magic mushrooms. And I'll be showing those later in a haul that I'm going to be doing. Perfect for blending. Probably my new obsession for blending ink on cards, and just loved the vibrancy of the dye inks on this particular background. So that one. And then finally, from a company called the Ton Stamps, these were multi-layered stencils. So there were actually 3 stencils that you layer up to make these beautiful flowers. You can see all the beautiful detail there. That was really fun. That was the first time I've used layered stencils on a card, and I really did love that. Now, of course, when I brought it home, we hadn't stamped any sentiment on it, and I had this really pretty just because, so I added that to the center. But this card was designed that it could have gone either way, and I could have stamped it here. I decided to do a horizontal card, and I also had some pink paper in my pink cardstock in my stash that I layered it up on, and then a white card base. But yeah, I've never used layered stencils before, so that was my first time, and it was a lot of fun, and I really like the way that one turned out as well. Now, I also went to the Ton Stamps table at the Stampfest the next day, and I did this make and take at their table there. They offered make and takes at their table during the show, and this is the one that I created there, and it's a larger size. It was actually a full 8.5 by 11 cardstock sheet, but the stencils were a little bit larger than 6 by 6, so I cut this to 6 by 6 so I could add it to a card. But again, look at how pretty the layering is when you do a layered stencil. My first time doing that, I'm guarantee it won't be my last, because I love the results. Everyone at the table, when they did a make and take, was so impressed with how pretty they turned out. And I think, with the exception of maybe just a few people, no one had ever done a layered stencil before. So I've seen some demos on them from different manufacturers, but I was afraid it was a little too fussy for me, and I really wouldn't enjoy it, but I did enjoy it a lot, and it was quite easy to do. So, yeah, I like the way this one turned out as well. So that's my little share for this week's Tea Tuesday. Thank you again to Patty and Kathy for hosting this every week. I'm so happy I was able to jump in, and I'm happy that I was able to share information about the Stampfest and the Make and Take event, and some of the projects that I made while I was there. So if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button, ringing the bell notification, so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.